Welcome back to the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast. I'm your host, Chris Kellum, with my constant co-host,
Tyler, y'all.
and today we have one of my most favorite special guests,
Matt Grimm.
and if you can kind of guess by the background and by the last name, what should people know you for, Matt?
Grimburger.
So,
This is a long time in the making. Chris has been chomping at the bit for over a year now to get you on. So it's perfect timing for opening the very first brick-and-mortar, right?
yes.
Yeah, we're very close as we talked about, and any day now, I guess. Yeah.
So, for those of you who listen to some of the podcasts, but not all of them, last year we got real bored and I got real hungry at the same time and argued what was the best burger joint in town. And unfortunately, you guys came in second place, but I think it's because
Yeah.
you were on a food truck and people couldn't see you as consistently.
I would like to debate the result.
Right.
that little poll there, I don't know, a little sketchy at the end, if you ask me. A lot of votes in the middle of the night. I think it was
Right.
Island Burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll take it. It's okay. Number two is fine for that. But yeah, I don't know. I think when you ask people like what their favorite burger, I don't know. I see a lot of have you seen the Facebook
Yes.
posts that seem to pop up nonstop in all the foodie type groups,
Every month,
and it's
someone's like, oh, what's the favorite burger in town?
there's a lot of debate, I think.
Yes.
Needless to say, but that's good for burger business,
Yeah.
I think. So
I'm really interested too, when it comes to burgers, because I'm old school. When I think of a burger, I think of the classic quarter pounder, half pound burger, and you guys do smash burgers.
yeah.
So me being random, why'd you pick smash burgers over the other old school?
I mean, I think most people prefer the two thin patties.
Mhm.
You get more surface area as opposed to you get a top and a bottom of one patty versus top and a bottom on two individuals. So
Yeah.
you just can create more flavor that way, I think. But I don't know. I don't know. Double's just better, I think.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue.
Yeah.
So
We're,
my question is kind of going a step back to get to that point is where did the love of burgers come from to actually start the food truck before we got here?
Yeah. So I worked for Cookout for
Oh, okay.
almost 9 years. Me
Oh,
and my
wow.
wife both did. So
Nice.
we had a lot of burger experience prior to the food
Yeah.
truck. I tried to figure out one time how many burgers have I had a hand in creating, and it's I think I'm in the millions somewhere.
That's
But
crazy.
it's essentially 12 or 13 years now of just I do burgers for a living.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that, and then it was just it seemed like it would be silly to not utilize all that knowledge that I had accumulated working with Cookout for that long time.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just like I said, it's something that's hotly debated.
Yes.
It's something that every age group is interested in from a food standpoint. It's good for families. It's good for whatever. So it just makes a lot of sense. And then just the knowledge and all that as well. But
So were you making your own kind of concoctions in the back of Cookout while you were?
yeah, well, for the year leading up to opening the food truck, I started having friends over once a month, and they would just be the test subjects.
Yeah.
So it took about a year of once I decided it was something we might do,
Mhm.
Right.
of recipe testing, coming up with the menu, and yeah, roughly a year of
Wow. Good
kind of
R&D going in.
yeah, just in my spare time while I
Right.
was working my full-time
Yeah.
thing. So
So, still doing a little background. You created the food truck in what year? 21?
21, yeah.
Okay. And for those who don't know, they bought up the Cheesesmith food truck.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it was a crazy coincidence because I met Brendan and Molly, who
Mhm.
own Cheesesmith, through a friend of a friend thing when we first met. When we first moved here, we moved here in 2019,
Okay.
and we went to a Friendsgiving thing of some people who we just met through another friend. It was almost like friend of a friend of a friend. and Brendan and Molly happened to be invited to the same thing, and we like had talked to them and just were like both found out we were in like food service type jobs at the time.
Yeah.
So kind of like had conversation about that, and then like however much time passed, I randomly text Brendan and I was like, I think I'm wanting to start a food truck. Just kind of like wanting to pick his brain because obviously he had already been doing it.
Right.
And he was like, well, it just so happens we want to sell ours. And it was like before they had even announced that they were going into the cargo district. So it was just like, I just happened to message him at the same time he wanted to sell it.
That's
So
crazy.
it's like kind of crazy how that worked out. And just the way we met too, it was like,
Right.
how do we randomly meet someone who owns a food truck? And then I also happened to randomly message him when he was wanting to sell it. So it's kind of crazy.
I love that. Only reason I thought of that is because Tyler and I are like the kings of coming up with random concepts. And
Oh, I hear a lot of them.
oh yeah,
I get that a lot. That's not you're not the first or the last. So
he looked like, because it was the end of like the craziness of COVID, and we were like, man, do I really still want to work in a jewelry store? Do I want to do something different? And Tyler's like, hey, this food truck's for sale. And I'm like, no, I don't need to buy a food truck because I don't have.
I think a lot of
concepts."
people need to make that realization. It's
You're
like
right.
way harder than it looks.
Oh yeah.
There's people who buy food trucks thinking like they're retired, and I'm like,
No.
you're unretired. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's not a like, I was leading up to like now where we're just focusing on the restaurant. Like I was solidly working like at least 50 to 60 hours a week for the food truck to like
I believe
make it
yeah.
work the way you would see it as a customer. So it's not, and it's a lot of like physical labor type stuff too.
Right.
So it's
Did you guys have any? I know for some food trucks, you have to have a, I forget, like basically a prep kitchen type of deal.
yeah.
Is that something that you faced as well too?
Yeah, it's required.
Oh,
in
it is?
North-
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you have to have a commissary kitchen is what
Commissary
they call
kitchen,
it.
that's what
Yeah,
it's- yeah,
in
that's
North
right.
Carolina. So essentially, like most of them, you can like park your food truck there. You do all your prep inside. You get storage space inside. You can like wash all your dishes in there.
Oh,
So it's kind of like you're based out of a physical kitchen is
Right,
how it works.
okay.
So
do you like share a kitchen with other people?
yeah, pretty much all of them.
Oh,
There's like some one-off type situations, but for the most part, the bigger ones will have like 5 to 10 or more like food trucks that are
based out.
based
of them.
out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I think the one we were using, it was like probably, it would vary just from food trucks going in business, out of business, but like I would say like at least 5 to 7 at ours, something like that. So
Oh wow.
it varies all the way from like what we do to like full size trucks to like there were some hot dog carts. So it's like
Okay.
even
Okay.
like really small like vendor type
Mhm.
people have to have one too. So
Interesting. I didn't
it
know
wouldn't
that.
be like 7 of us in there at one
Yeah,
time, but
Right,
like
of
all at
course.
different times.
everybody
they
has
can
to
sell.
have like a place they report to, so
Yeah.
to speak. So
Mhm.
I was always curious about that because,
Yeah.
like, I've been to your food truck quite regularly, not as much as some people,
mhm.
but I know how big that truck is, and I was like, "There's no way you do all of your prep for all of the burgers you guys put out, all of the like ingredients and toppings." And I was always curious about that.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. Nor would I want to. Yeah, I mean, like some people have the luxury of having like a really big truck. Ours is a trailer, so it's
Yeah.
Right.
we're using the truck word like very
Loosely,
generously,
Yeah.
but yeah, it would be impossible there, and that was just like one of the big reasons we trying to get away from the food truck is just like too small,
yes,
too small in every facet of it, just from like the service aspect to storage to you name it, basically.
I remember when you guys first opened, that was like the hardest thing for me is because I would get off of work at the like 20 minutes before you guys shut down. And I'd always have to rush across town and be like, all right, I hope they still have some burgers left over because I knew you guys had so much prep done.
Yeah,
And I was like, it's kind of salty when I missed it, but I was also happy.
you're
when
always
I-
you're like there's certain people where they can take it luckily you
Oh.
don't take it personally, but some people are like, they hold us to the same standard as like
A physical spot.
as if they showed up to McDonald's at 12 p.m. They said they didn't have a burger. And it's like,
It's completely
you see
different
like
here.
what we're working with here, right? Like there are limitations to this.
Yes.
There isn't just like a magical well from which I pull the burgers to put on the grill, you know, like, and I am one person that does everything. So, yeah,
So
that's another, that again, just going back to the constraints of that setup. Like, I think over the last 3 years, we've figured out a lot of ways to make it, stretch it even farther and farther. I just
Right.
come up with like, oh, what if we did this way or whatever? And we figured out a way to like serve more and more people. And I just become more efficient at doing everything to
Right.
where
Yeah.
you can, like I said, just what we were serving like year one, we were probably tripling year 3, but it's just because we've come up with better processes to like make that happen. So
So one of the questions I had then is, other than having amazing burgers, what do you think was the reason for your like big success that you've had?
I think we just, I mean, at like the very basic level, we just do a lot of easy stuff that I don't know why other people don't do a little
Right.
bit. Like
Mm.
we spent money on like branding, like
Yeah.
having, you need to have like, you need
Right.
like, there's certain things that I think people don't want to spend the money on, but it's like so worth it.
Right.
When, branding, photography,
Yeah.
those are just things where like, just to get people to the truck, you have to have those things. I think
Right.
it just make like, social media is like since you don't have a brick and mortar storefront,
Yeah.
like your social media is kind of your storefront, so to
Right.
speak. Like that's what's I can tell you how many people came to the truck and were like, I saw that picture of that burger on Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, just paying someone with like a real camera that's like talented
Yeah.
to,
Not my cell phone. Just to be like,
you're
oh,
right.
yeah.
People, I think, your iPhone's like, it's great, but it's just not,
Yeah. It's not gonna cut it.
it's not
Fortunately,
professional
yeah.
quality photos.
Yeah.
The same thing with like the branding. Like when we
Mhm.
first did it, I was like trying to do it myself. And I was like, some friends of ours were just like, Matt, just pay someone to
Just
do
pay
it.
someone.
And I was like, you know what? Fine. And then we got our friend Jared Weinstein that did all our branding.
Yeah.
We have, I don't know if you guys have met Logan, Billy Logan, does all our photography.
I've met him in passing, but I don't
Yeah.
even know. Yeah.
So, I mean, we use,
He's
he
fantastic.
does
too,
video and photography for us
Mhm.
for the restaurant. Now we're using Lauren.
Right.
Shout out to all these
Yes.
people.
Say this awesome.
Um,
You're all behind us.
Yeah. I mean, these people are like really good. You just gotta like, it costs money, but
Yes.
Right.
it's worth it. It pays for itself. So it's like that whole aspect of it. And then from the food standpoint, just like, you can't just pull things out of a freezer and throw them in a fryer
Yeah.
Right.
and like expect people to get excited about that, So like we grind all our own beef. We
Huh.
make everything. We make as much from scratch as we possibly
Oh,
can.
wow.
We just try to use like the highest quality ingredients that we can. So we get like Martin's potato rolls, which I think are like
Very
the best
top
burger
notch.
bun probably. We use like Duke's mayo. We use like all the best, in my opinion,
Right.
anyways, the best stuff that we can use. So you kind of put all that together, and then from a food truck standpoint, like keeping the menu concise. So you need to specialize in one thing.
Right.
I see a lot of people that they do way too much.
Yeah.
They try to
Agree.
just please too many people, essentially. Like,
Yeah.
I still get a lot of questions about like vegetarian and vegan stuff, and I'm just like,
This is a burger truck.
there's people out there that do that stuff like way better than I'm gonna do
Right.
it. So like, it doesn't make sense for me to try to like spread myself
Right.
over so many different things. And they're like, why don't you sell hot dogs? Like, well, we don't sell hot dogs. You know what I mean? It's like, just
People really ask that?
these are the things that all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Just the constant. Well, you should sell chicken sandwiches. I'm like,
Really?
we sell hamburgers, okay, and French fries.
Yes.
Okay, it just makes it like going back to the how many people can we serve sort of thing.
Right.
Like that just makes it even worse.
Yeah,
I
like
can imagine. Yeah.
the more concise you can have, it's like put more time and effort into 4 to 5 things instead of trying to spread yourself over like a dozen things.
Right. Probably run out of burgers much quicker if you had a bunch of chicken in the back too.
Yeah, it's just it inevitably certain things aren't going to be as good as other things.
Yeah.
So it's I think just like specializing in something is like the route. I think if you look at other successful food trucks or restaurants less so because you have more space, but food
Right.
trucks for sure. Cheesesmith, like they sell grilled cheese with
Exactly.
different, you know what I mean? They've expanded since they got to the restaurant, Bonsai, another good
Right.
popular food truck.
Fantastic. Yeah.
They probably have like 5 or 6 things on their menu. When Cheesesmith was in the food truck, same thing, right?
Right.
So it's like there's a pattern here,
Yes.
like
Start small, do
focus on
great.
like being really good at what your thing is, whatever that is, and then that if you do all those things, like you're at least like starting from a good place.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, since you brought it up, you said the menu tends to expand when you come into a brick and mortar. Is your menu expanding?
a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. We're still like taking the specializing thing like to heart, but chopped cheese will be on the menu
Okay.
permanently.
Chris is excited about
We're
that.
doing a patty melt that's going to be on the menu
Oh, nice,
permanently.
yeah.
Those are the main additions, and then we're doing a really cool collab with dessert with Pie Slayer
I
downtown.
saw that.
Oh,
Oh,
neat.
I'm so excited
It's-
for that first
it's-
slice of pie.
Let me tell you, this pie is amazing.
Yeah.
The crust is like Oreo, and I think it's got like Rice Krispie in it too, and it's got layers of like chocolate and cookies and cream, like kind of like whipped topping with Oreo on top.
That's neat.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I could see that.
We took pictures of it and then ate the whole pie. So it was awesome. Everything they. I don't know if you guys have been to Pie
Yes.
Slayer yet.
Not
but
yet.
Because we haven't had them on the podcast, but I know them because we're in the cargo district all the time. They started at Salt and Charm.
Right. I was gonna say I think they used to work
Yeah.
at Salt and Charm. Yeah.
And then when they moved to Pie Slayer, like their own storefront, my wife every 2 nights is like, look at what they have on their menu. And I'm like,
It all looks really good.
it tastes really good.
Yeah.
It's very eclectic flavor wise too. Like it's not it's not like your grandma's pumpkin
Not your
pie.
grandma's pie.
Just like your burgers aren't like, oh, hey, you're not getting a McDonald's double. You're
Mhm.
getting like a Grimburger, which leads me to some of the names and food like items. Did you just come off the top of your head, or did you like
We're like
figure out a name and then figure out what goes on it?
we're running out of Grimm pun names. I'll tell you that. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel on the ones that are
Truly
good in my mind.
Okay.
We have ones that we like, and then we're like on Google, like trying to come up with something cool. But
You should have a competition.
Mm,
yeah, like
everyone-
name the next
yeah.
one. That
Yeah.
could be good. Yeah, I don't know. It's more like certain ones, like the Grimburger is just like
Yes.
the classic, so that's kind of
Right.
easy there. Carolina Reaper is like another popular one. So that one just kind of obviously plays on the actual pepper. There's no
Right.
like Carolina Reaper peppers, but
Oh, okay.
you make that association of like spicy
Spicy,
burgers.
yeah.
Got it. We have the Gravedigger, which is really popular.
One of my favorites.
So we had to be careful. You got to be careful with that one. That you're not like stealing any intellectual property from the
Right.
Monster Jam situation. But we had to talk about. I don't know if you've seen like the beer we did with Mad Mold.
Yeah.
We had to like when we talked. We were like, "Can we call it Gravedigger?" Because it's like the mole. They always do mole
Yes.
puns,
Right.
So it's like moles digging.
Yeah.
We already do Gravedigger. It was like this is the perfect name. They're like, we need to talk to our lawyer to make sure we can name a beer Gravedigger and
Yeah.
not get sued for it.
Right.
So it turns out if you
That's-
do the spacing right,
Oh, okay.
you don't
interesting.
have to worry about that because Gravedigger's like I think it's one word.
One word,
maybe, but
yeah.
Anyway,
It's
but yeah,
so
we
funny.
just we just try to like make it fun.
Yeah.
Keep it in the theme.
Yes. And that beer is on tap. Correct.
I don't know. No, so that
Well,
was
we
like
do have it here.
I don't think not when we opened.
Darn.
We've like been in talking with them.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll do something new when we open.
Oh, that makes sense.
We have a really great relationship with them. So worst case scenario, we'll probably do something again with them soon to
I like
kind of
it.
like christen the launch
Christen
of the
the
rest.
space.
Yeah.
So I did see some taps over there. Will you have beer on tap?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're gonna have 8 draft lines. We have a cooler behind the bar, so we'll have like cans and bottles of stuff too.
Mm.
We're gonna try to it's definitely not going to be like boring, like generic beer selection. Like it'll be a mixture of local, like mainly the places we would take the food truck for sure. It's definitely not where you're not. It's no Bud Light or anything like that.
Right.
Just to like set the stage of what I'm talking about.
Yep.
It's gonna be more certain, like 100% craft, I would say.
I like that.
But we'll have some. We're gonna try to price it competitively, so where this could be somewhere you can come have a few beers if you want, and not
Nice,
necessarily
yeah.
have to eat. So
I mean, I'm definitely gonna eat when you show up.
Right.
I will say
Makes it tempting.
yes. On top of your burgers, you'd have some of the best fries.
they're good. I like it a lot.
Yes.
We make the seasoning from scratch. Yeah.
I've been wondering that because, like, I know conceptually, like, you don't cut and double dredge your fries.
I think those are the most overrated French fries,
I agree.
in my opinion. I think like it's so much work for
Yes.
like no return at all.
Right.
Basically, like they get limp like 30 seconds after
Exactly.
you put them in front of somebody.
I don't know. Your fries last a while because, like, me and my wife
They're
would
battered.
Okay, that
Yeah.
explains it. Because we would pick it up when you would do. I'd randomly get it. Like if we were at Mad Mole, I would take it to our townhouse, and it would still be fresh fries. Or we would get it when they did the Wilmington Brewing Company, and we would take it all the way down to Starling,
Mm-hmm.
and the fries would still be crisp. And I'm like, that's not a short drive
Yeah.
for French fries. And so I just have to applaud you for like finding good fries, and then the seasoning is just like.
We pay a little extra for those French fries.
Yeah.
They're not like cheap French fries,
Yeah.
but like you said, it's a great product. So
Yeah.
I think like, well, it's not feasible to like do hand cut fries on the food truck. Like some
No.
restaurants do it, but like French fries are one of those things that like it's better to just buy frozen.
Yeah.
The people that make those, like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the same thing. Like I don't make my own ketchup. Like Heinz has that under control.
Yes,
Like they
right.
know what they're doing. So there's like certain things where you can just save yourself the time and effort. Like there's companies out there that like Heinz is Heinz because
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
are who they are. They make the best ketchup. So it's like just don't waste your time, sort of thing, you know?
I mean,
No point reinventing the
Yeah.
wheel.
I'm not gonna make mayo. Like Duke's has that under control.
Yes,
like
right.
so you buy the best ingredients and then start from that point, you know?
is that what's you guys make your own G sauce, correct?
Yeah. That's like our burger.
Yeah.
Burger / fry sauce, yeah.
Can you at least tell me the base of it?
Duke's mayo.
Oh, okay. I always see the color and I'm like, what is this? Because the same goes with like Thousand Island dressing. I've always seen it and I'm like, there's something base to it and I could never figure it out. So I'm not gonna.
I was say I don't know how much more I can.
No. I
It's
was
not
just-
that many ingredients. but-
I was just curious as like what the base was because that's my wife's favorite. Like she likes the G sauce. I love your ranch.
it's
I'm like, you can't go wrong.
I will say it's kind of like a riff on like a mayo mustard ketchup kind of situation. That's not what it is. So
Right. So don't try.
So don't go home and just mix those together and think you've got the magic recipe because those are not the ingredients. But like, that's as much of a hint as I can.
Yeah.
You could figure it out from there,
Yeah.
probably.
You could. Let's see what you got.
I'm just getting starving now.
Yeah.
We came too early, Chris.
I'm sorry. You know, this is the time it worked out because it worked out perfectly because you guys are opening this physical location.
And by the time this podcast comes out, I can guarantee you'll be open by that.
When does it come out?
After mid-October.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're not open by then,
Yes,
we're in
That's what I'm
trouble.
saying. Yeah, something horrible happened.
Yeah. Yeah, please check on me if we're not
Yes.
open by then. so-
Right.
I'll shoot you a message. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, please. Yeah, if we're not open by mid-October.
Are you guys doing anything crazy for Halloween?
I don't know. I didn't anticipate. I thought we would be open I thought we were going to be open earlier than this,
Okay.
honestly. It hasn't been like no real problems per se.
Yeah.
But just the way construction kind of moved along,
Yeah.
I was thinking we were trying to catch like the tail end of summer.
That makes
So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any I haven't given it too much thought. maybe we need to decorate a little bit.
Well, I mean, you are Grimburger, so I
Yeah.
don't know if you're gonna be like, hey, we're doing
People
like a
have
special.
already asked, like, have asked that, like, just in time for like spooky season, you know, October.
Yeah,
We're opening
that's what
right
you
on
told
It
me.
Friday.
could work
Yeah.
out actually in your favor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could.
that was the goal. We meant to open in October.
Maybe we'll do something cool for Halloween or something.
Yeah,
That might be a good idea.
I mean, people
Costume party. Best creepy outfit gets a burger.
Excuse me.
I see, like in general, you guys. For those who don't know, what is your physical location at?
We're in the Forum Shopping Center.
Okay,
So it's 1113 Military Cutoff, Suite F.
nice.
So
Many
we're-
people would probably recognize it as Epic.
Yeah,
Okay.
previously Epic Food. We're back by like Bento Box is
Mhm.
back here, and
Home Again is right next to you
Yeah.
guys too.
Yeah.
so
I just always have to let people know, because I know where it is because I work right across the street,
yeah.
and I'm like, so excited. I do eat rounds on a very, very regular basis, but my wife told me I can't have chicken tenders 6 days a
You
week.
get Litos there.
Yeah.
I'm a big Litos fan.
See,
I'm from Maryland originally, so
Oh yeah, that makes sense now.
that's the connection there.
see, I didn't
I
know you
grew
were
up
from
eating
Maryland.
Litos.
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
I thought you were from Virginia because of the VT.
Sammy's from Virginia, but yeah, we both
Okay.
went to Virginia Tech.
Okay.
So how did you guys meet then?
We met at Cookout.
Oh no,
Yeah,
okay,
we
so
were
it
both
was-
working at Cookout, like my last semester,
Hmm.
which at the time Cookout was new to us.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
we-
because
I-
it went.
So like, yeah, right. So we weren't from North Carolina, so obviously we
Right.
didn't grow up with that. But when it opened in Blacksburg, it was like, this is a big deal. Like,
Right.
So it was like the cool place to work, and we met there. So
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
and then moved around a bunch of times with Cookout, and then eventually we moved here with Cookout to actually we moved here to open Taco Roo's. I don't know if you
Oh
guys
yeah.
knew about that or not, but
Yeah.
so like Sammy and I were like, we were Taco Roo's. Like what? I don't know. I don't know how familiar you guys were
Oh,
with
no,
that,
no.
that
That's why I'm
situation.
laughing, because like it was the biggest like ruse of it all, because everyone's like, "Oh, Taco Roo's is opening,"
It-
and then
For
like,
a like moment in time, it was.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then COVID happened, and they were like,
no,
"Yeah, we don't have time for this like little fun side project anymore." And then
Yeah. So another
this
cookout
is
right
when
next
I
to the
left.
other one.
I ended up leaving. That was one of the reasons though I ended up leaving Cookout, because the Taco Roo's thing was like appealing to me because I was like kind of getting over
making the same.
Cookout
Yeah.
of the same stuff all the time. There's no real like creative outlet, and
Right.
so I moved here. They moved me here from. We used to live in Atlanta,
Okay.
and I was told like, "Hey, we're gonna let you develop this whole like new concept we're doing,
Oh, that's cool.
and like develop all the systems and processes and the policies for it, and all the we're gonna and we actually were like." Just for the record, we did test like Taco Roo's recipes like at that restaurant in February of 2020.
Oh,
did
no.
And then
see
like
that.
30 days later, it was like all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And they were like, so never mind with tacos. We got to make sure like our company isn't going to
Right.
disintegrate. Then they just turned it into Cookout. And I was like, well, that's not what I moved here for. So
Right.
Yeah.
maybe time to do something else.
Yeah, that is why I laugh, because I remember it because I'm from here, so that was a Hardee's forever, and then they finally took it down, and then they started putting the Taco Roo sign up, and like all over social media was like, "What is this place? What's it gonna be?" And no one really knew. And then you were right, it opened, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna check this out." And then COVID hit, and I was like, "Never mind."
They like rushed me moving here
To
Oh,
get
because it
really?
was
open.
going to open,
Yeah.
quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes. I know I don't know if people.
So
listen
was
to
that like
this.
the first concept one that they made?
They had like another property in Raleigh, which I saw an article like a couple months ago, like it's gonna happen. But who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
Rue is actually the owner of Cookout. His son's like nickname.
Interesting.
Okay,
So just giving you a little like behind the
that makes so much
behind the
more sense.
scenes situation. Yeah, I just had like a really good relationship with the owner of Cookout, and I was like wanting to move closer to our families.
Mhm.
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
friends here in Wilmington, and so that's kind of how that. I was like,
Works.
he was like, "Well, we're trying to do this thing. Do you want to do this for me?" And I was like, "Sure." So
So kind of to tie it all together, when you left there, was it kind of like amicable or like, oh yeah, hey, you know what, you'll do a great job? Or was this kind of like, I'm going to sneak out of here?
Well, it just got tough because the schedule at Cookout, it's like the late nights.
That's true. Yeah.
We have 2 kids, and it was like, it got really rough from a schedule point of view.
Right.
And then we both ended up leaving, just like gave our notice, and we were like, sorry, this isn't working out for us anymore.
Right.
And we both worked at Bojangles for about a year.
Okay.
So I was an area director for Bojangles for a little bit. Sammy was she was the general manager of the Bojangles on College Road for about a year. And then I started developing the Grimburger stuff while I was at Bojangles.
Okay.
Because I was
That's
like,
right.
That makes more sense.
the schedule was better, but then I was like, all right, now I'm working for this company that I'm not really very
Right.
passionate about. And I still feel like I'm just babysitting people. And I still don't get to do like I don't get to make the decisions and do the creative stuff. And like, so I was like, okay, well, the schedule got better, but that's about it.
Right.
So that's when I was like, okay, I need to I'm just gonna start working on something. And then eventually, we started the food truck. I was doing both at the same time.
Oh, wow.
For a couple months. And then I was like, I met with my accountant and I was like, I'm really trying to quit. I was like, what do you think? Do you think I could just do this? And he was like, yeah, I think so. And I was like, okay. So I quit Bojangles, and then we were doing we started out with just Fridays and Saturdays. Yeah. When I quit, we went to Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then Sammy worked with Bojangles. She was pregnant when we bought the food truck.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so she was working full time at Bojangles. And she was working on the food truck, and she was pregnant. And she did that all the way till January because we were like, she had health insurance through Bojangles.
That's what I
Right.
figured.
Makes sense.
And we were like, man, we really want to have a baby, and without that health insurance, it's like we should really just wait. So then, and she was just like, I feel bad, she's a very strong woman. I'll put it that way.
Clearly.
Because she was working she would get up at 4:30 she'd have to be at Bojangles at 4:30 a.m.
Oh,
work till 2 or something,
Yeah.
get a couple hours off, come to the food truck, work 3.5 hours more,
Yeah.
and then do it again the next day, and then eventually have a baby.
Yeah.
I remember when she was pregnant. Cause
Yeah, it was rough. But then the following year, she had the baby, and then she
Right.
just called them and was like, "Hey, I'm not coming back. We're just doing this now."
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for the health insurance.
Right.
I have my baby,
Appreciate
so
it.
we did what we needed to do here, and and then we just did full-time food truck since 2022.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
so are you open 6 days a week, 7 days a week?
The plan is to get to 7, but we'll
Okay.
probably start with 6.
Okay.
I think we'll need a day at the beginning to just
Yeah.
rest,
Get it.
to make sure everything's running right. I think we're at 15 people now. I'm trying to get to maybe 20-ish.
Oh,
I-
wow.
I'm expecting a mass of people. In a I don't know, in a good way.
Yeah,
Right,
I just
yeah.
the last week we ran the food truck was
Ridiculous.
physically exhausting, just how busy we were. So I just expect it to kind of pick up
Mhm.
where that left off, I think. So we'll see. I'm trying to be prepared. The goal when we open is definitely going to be not run out of anything. I don't want anyone waiting super long for
Right.
their food. I'm not making any claims or
Yeah, we're
guarantees.
not making any promises
Right.
here.
Don't take this as a
But we have goals.
guarantee, but that is my intention, is definitely keep the wait time low,
Right.
Yes.
have everything that everybody wants within reason.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
The
an
within
awesome place
reason.
to
Yeah,
be.
that's we're gonna start there, and then we'll adjust as we go. But I'm sure somebody will find something to complain about.
Always.
You're not doing something right if people aren't complaining.
Yeah,
That's what I've always been told.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to steal Chris's question here. So looking forward to opening the new spot here, what does success look like to you?
Just not having to live here would be nice. Being able to just step away a little bit, because the last, 3.5 years, it's been I do literally everything.
Right.
So yeah, just getting a good team in place where I can manage more
Right.
than like if you ate a burger from the food truck in the last 3.5 years, I made it.
Oh, wow.
So just just not
Yeah.
being in that situation will be nice. Just like just being in more of a owner slash manager role,
Right.
and then just having time to like maybe work on something else.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Very
Try
nice.
not to like, definitely don't want to look past. I have some other ideas of like stuff I'd like to do, like
Oh, cool.
not burger related.
Right.
Still like
Hot dogs.
I was
told-
gonna ask it too. I was like,
I told somebody that if you see me selling hot dogs, like
It's
that's
bad.
my distress. Like I'm under duress. Like
come save me.
someone's behind me with a gun and I'm cooking a hot dog. It's like me like blinking 2 times. Like something's wrong.
Oh.
Hot dogs are fine. I don't know. I think you can cook a hot dog at home.
I was gonna
Sure.
say,
I don't
yeah.
know.
It's,
But is a hot dog?
I'm the wrong. There's certain. I have certain food. There's like I have a couple that are like these are not good things in my opinion.
right.
Like there's nothing wrong with hot dog, but
So before I ask my last question, can I get 2 food hot takes from you?
2 food hot takes. Well, I already told you about my tomato situation.
Yeah. I want
Right.
everyone
We're
else.
we're very anti-tomato in this establishment. Does not belong on a burger. It's not a good food. It's not a good burger topping.
Okay.
Tomatoes do not belong on a burger. I think like at minimum on a burger you need like some kind of sauce is fine, like some sort of pickle, onion in some variety, and then like you could do some lettuce. That's like you don't need to go and American cheese.
Okay.
American cheese is the way to go. Food hot takes. I think like raisins and orange juice with pulp are just like mistake things that they sell to people because they didn't know what to do with it. And they're like, hey, you left some of the orange in that juice. Well, I can't get it out. Okay, we'll just sell it as orange juice with pulp. That's like, that's that. The raisins, I mean, are pretty self-explanatory.
Right,
They used to
yeah.
be grapes. They used to be good grapes that are now raisins.
Yes.
yeah, it's the ones they didn't sell fast enough.
Yeah, tomatoes. Hot dogs are kind of whatever.
I love that. I mean, everyone has some sort of hot take, and I've never asked anybody that.
I feel like
So-
that should be the title of the podcast. Hot dogs are just whatever.
They got,
I mean, that does kind of go with the fact that it is Grimburger.
yeah.
Oh. We'll let
Sorry,
you catch
guys.
your breath.
no, yeah.
Oh
I'm just
no, you're
like,
good.
dying over here.
So, officially, if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
I feel like I'm still struggling with talking. I would tell myself, I would tell my past self and my current self,
Yeah.
like, just stop procrastinating.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Sorry, guys.
No.
I know you're okay.
Then we'll just do a drink of coffee because I don't have any water.
Oh yeah, I don't even have water in my bag today.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stop procrastinating. I'll still do it tomorrow.
right.
I feel like that's my personality. Yeah, just like pulling the trigger with doing the food truck. Yeah, just different things. Just like taking more risks, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy with how things like timeline wise have worked out. So no real complaints, I guess, in that sense. Like the
Right.
procrastination hasn't like done any serious damage. But yeah,
Yeah, because the timing of the food truck thing never would have happened if it wasn't for the timing that you decided to take action.
yeah. I mean, well, we had been looking for a spot for the last like 2 years, I think.
Okay.
But I'm happy this is where we ended up.
Yeah.
Some of the
good
other
spot.
places, looking back, we're like, oh, I'm glad that didn't work out.
Right.
So
Interesting. So
Ready?
Yes. So Matt doesn't like die over here on us. Keep an eye out because the podcast and the Brick-and-Mortar restaurant is going to be open very, very soon. You guys on anything besides Instagram?
I just like Facebook. I copy it over, but
Okay.
just at Grimburger.
Yes.
Instagram. Yep.
Grim with 2 M's.
That's
Yes.
right. Yep.
I spelled it wrong the first time I tried to find them, and it took me a while. But yeah,
All right.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for lunch in a couple weeks,
Oh,
and
yeah.
hopefully you guys will come here and we'll have a burger off next summer to see if you still think this should be number one. Cough, cough. I think so, but
Chris was so upset when the final poll came in. I thought he wasn't going to publish it. So I think you agree too.
yes.
I need to go over there and try that. The Island Burgers and Bites. I haven't been, so.
Yeah.
Chris
They're-
said when we went over there after they won, because neither one of us had it before, we were like, I guess we'll check it out. And it was a good burger, but Chris said it's just different than yours. Like he said, it's not even
Yeah.
really comparable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think you win smash burger and they win like a traditional burger.
They do like a bigger burger.
Yeah.
Right?
And so I'm down for it.
Yeah.
If we got to come back and eat one back-to-back days, I will sacrifice myself.
Yeah, that's the other thing with the whole like burger debate. Like, there's so many different ways to do it. Like, you're kind of comparing apples and oranges sometimes. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
I'm excited. So thank you guys for listening, as per usual. Or if you could, like, comment, share, subscribe. And Matt, thank you for having us in here before
Yeah.
you got all open.
Sneak
Yeah,
peek.
sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sorry, I'm like